all start from different places. You know, I was a school teacher, so I worked in a laboratory of illness half the time. And so you know what happens when somebody comes to school sick. If it's not the teacher, if it's the kids, it goes around the classroom. I could get a substitute. They could not. So if I was sick, I didn't have to infect the whole room. If they were sick and their parents sent them to school, it was a problem. And often they sent them to school because they had to go to work. And you can't leave a 9-year-old home alone inside a confined space or an automobile. Going to another references to something that some of us understand. But they could walk to the park all day long. That would be okay. So anyway, I mean, I saw that, you know, I saw it play out sort of in the real world. The other thing that strikes me, and it's why I will not support a total exclusion of anything, is that at the end of the day, we have an enormous number of people who are a paycheck away from homelessness, from not being able to make rent. And it doesn't matter whether you're in a company the size of 6 or the size of, you know, 4. Your reality is, if I don't collect that paycheck, I may not be able to make rent at the end of the month. And, you know, fortunately, none of us here are in that situation, either way, anyway. But there are people out there who are, and if you've read the articles that have appeared about housing costs in the DC area and the recognition that people have to earn multiples of the minimum wage even to put a roof over their head. So just imagine what it's like if you can't bring home a full paycheck. And if you miss a day, you know, that's probably makes you tenuous. You miss 2 days, that might be more of a lift than you can make. And I don't think we should put people in that situation. So my bottom line is, I don't want anybody to have to absolutely face the situation that if you're sick, you have to come into work and you have to potentially endanger, particularly if you're in any kind of job that has public contact, where you have to endanger other people as well as yourself for not taking care of yourself. I don't want people to have to say, I can't take this day off and take care of my kids, so I'm going to foist my kid off on the school system so I can deal with it later, and they'll deal with it during the day. I think we should do what we can to avoid that, while recognizing that this is going to be a burden for some people, and it's going to be a greater burden for some people than it's going to be for other people. And so there has to be, I think, some balance. When we get to discussing this, I think there's a place that most of my colleagues would be comfortable ending up, and I think that at the end of the day we'll get there. I really do think we're making, you know, landmark legislation, as my colleagues have pointed out. You can do things here that you can't do in Congress. I know no reason on earth why I would want to go to Congress and basically spend my time, you know, wondering why I'm there and I can't do anything. And here, we can do something. Here, the divide is over degrees on things like this, not on principles on things like this. That is an easier discussion to have, and it's an easier discussion to have in the community. So I think today is going to be very productive, and people are going to be very happy at the end of the day with what we do, and Montgomery County will be a lot better place when we're done.
The clerk will call the roll on Bill 6014, the Earned Sick and Safe Leave Measure.
Mr. Elrich?
Yes.
Mr. Elrich votes yes. Mr. Hucker?
Yes.
Mr. Hucker votes yes. Mr. Berliner?
Yes.
Mr. Berliner votes yes. Mr. Rice?
Yes.
Mr. Rice votes yes. Mr. Reamer? Yes. Mr. Reamer votes yes. Ms. Navarro?
Yes.
Ms. Navarro votes yes. Mr. Katz?
Yes.
Mr. Katz votes yes. Ms. Florine?
Yes.
Ms. Florine votes yes. Mr. Leventhal?
Mr. Leventhal votes yes. Bill 6014 is adopted by the County Council on a unanimous vote.